listing on all registered national securities exchanges. The approved Bitcoin ETFs will be subject to ongoing surveillance and compliance measures.
Breaking news, chaos over the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. I want to lay out for our viewers what just happened. First, there was a tweet from the official SEC government account that said all spot Bitcoin ETFs had been approved. Then, a short while later, Gary Gensler's personal account tweeting, the SEC Gov Twitter account was compromised and an unauthorized tweet was posted. The SEC has not approved the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded products. It's the fault of Twitter? Is it, where would you go first?
I think it's too early to know, but I'd probably go to, it's usually people who make these mistakes. Yep. And is it the people at the SEC who had a fat finger mistake, or is it someone at Twitter, and are there rules? So I think the SEC has to go deeper on Twitter, especially as that organization's been generally gutted since it's gone private, and make sure that things that can affect the market, affect the political landscape, are handled properly.
For the companies that you were invested in, do they use Twitter as a way of disseminating market-moving information?
Constantly. Okay, so they
so
announce earnings, they announce material hires, they announce all kinds of material things on Twitter. So that's really a place of record. And so if you're getting sold in M&A, which was the ultimate market-moving thing, you have to be locked down. So what does that mean? And I think it's probably even taken more seriously now than it did when Elon Musk was tweeting out, "I'm going private at $4.20 a share." And and now more seriously everyone takes it, the more important it is.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you hit the Cash App. And guys, what did I tell you about the spot Bitcoin ETF? They were going to turn up the drama. And boy, did we get a movie today. On the official SEC website, it states that the Bitcoin ETFs were approved. Now, guys, I was watching CNBC. That's a clip that I recorded from my phone. As she's talking, I'm recording. So CNBC is getting this information. It's not like CNBC can't call real fast and verify. But they reported it from the official SEC website. And then they have a nerve to come back and say that the account was compromised. And Gary Gensler is the one who sent out the tweet. But if you go to their website, they deleted the message and then reposted a message. So we know the account wasn't hacked. But then if you go to CNBC, they tried to twist it and turn it and said it's all Twitter's fault. It's Elon. You need cybersecurity with all these hackings. Guys, it's nothing but a movie. And this was a B movie, guys. I don't even know why they even tried it. This was horrible. You can tell this is something they thought about at last minute. But just think about all the money that was lost and gained just within those few minutes. Market manipulation at its all-time highs. But guys, even though we have all these movies going on in 2024, they're going to be stepped up going forward. But the fact is, remember, it's all for the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And we're going to have the fall of America to Babylon along with the United States World Reserve Currency and the rise of China along with the emerging markets, the BRICS nations. Led by the new World Reserve Currency, the digital yuan backed by that digital SDR, running Belt and Road. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Is this going to happen?
Well, we had every indication to believe it would happen. I think you have to remember something about the SEC. If this wasn't going to happen, I think that would have been telegraphed into the market. I'm not saying they're as good as telegraphing things as the Federal Reserve, but they're pretty good at it. And so some of the big issuers that I've been in touch with believe it gets announced tomorrow, Wednesday, after the close, with potential trading Thursday or later in the week.
I mean, we're showing the list right now, Anthony, on our wall back at our headquarters, and I obviously have them in front of me. It looks to me to be at least a dozen on this list. Is that too many? Are there going to be more? I mean, how should we judge the number of players who are trying to get a piece of this action?
It's a good question. So we stood down. We had an application in 2021. It got rejected alongside of Fidelity's application. And I think that the 12 of them will probably garner the market share. And those 12 will likely, once due diligence goes through at the wirehouses, Scott, they'll end up on the platforms.
But if we look at 2024, given where valuations now today, is it going to continue? I think we're frankly looking at some of the unloved areas. So REITs down 20% from the peak of 2021. We think that's overdone. So REITs as a sector, why is it sold off so much? Because their fears of exposures to office and the office sector, and then where they're getting their financing from. But if you were to look at the composition of REITs, there actually isn't that much exposure to office. So single digits, maybe 8% if you go across a number of different indices. And where do they get the financing from? The bond markets. But so we think the sell-off is overdone. We've leaned into some of those unloved areas. Emerging markets happens to be one of them, ties into our outlook. So growth, for example, in the U.S. has done really well. Areas like China have struggled a bit. But if you were to take a step back now and see where the value is, China and a number of those emerging market areas are presenting deep value.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're going to get more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, if new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.